And you have scorers 4 and 5 out.
Yeah.
You know, in Tavares and Nyes. I think that matters.
It does.
And yes, I know the games keep coming and the schedule, whatever. Minnesota's a good team.
Without Kaprizov.
Without Kaprizov. Now, listen, when a team is coming into Toronto without their star player, you know the Leafs are about to get pumped. That is a guarantee every time going to happen. But the other side of it is they have looked, guys, a little discombobulated. And that's been for a couple of games. It wasn't great against the Senators. Again, I'm acknowledging that they've had a lot of injuries.
Yep.
Pacioretty back for his first game. Like McMahon playing up on the first line.
And I like him, but he's not nice.
Well, of course not.
They don't play the same.
Yeah, and I want to talk about too. Like earlier on in January, had trouble scoring then too. Right? They won tight games against Philly where they look like crap.
If you want a rosy glasses way to look at it. The Leafs have allowed, 5 goals over their last 2 games? 2 of them have been goals from the sticks of their opponents against a goalie. Woll has allowed 2 shots.
One was off a knee, and one was off of their own stick.
One was off a knee, one was off their stick, and another was an empty netter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think the defense is doing pretty good. I think the goaltending is doing pretty good.
The problem here is the offense, and
they can't score.
I don't think on many teams, if you walk into the rink and McMahon and Holmberg are like top 6 forwards, like you're not going
to win a lot.
You're not looking at that team being like, they got enough.
Nylander's line mates have 5 goals combined.
Mm-hmm. That's the real concern. I don't think it's the microscope on each individual game. It's the overview of the team and how they have a lot of work to do for the deadline.
Hey, the fact that Nylander still scored despite the fact
scored good assists,
and he can drive a line, and it is worth the money obviously to have him. But yeah, I think you have probably some things that you could switch out. And Jesse, you said they need 3 forwards. 2 of them are Tavares and Nyes, I think, but you need at least one more impactful forward.
I think by the time such a disappointment.
I'm finally ready to admit I'm very disappointed, and because I thought we saw the best of him last year.
Yeah,
he hasn't been good enough, and like that guy, like talk about can't drive a line, right? And there were times where you see that third line with him, McMahon, and Robertson, and you're like, yeah, they got it. They lit up lesser opponents, and anytime they took on a contender, they got run over. The Leafs need at forward, I think, is why Brandon Saad is going to be a Leaf by the time the show is up.
So you think he will, eh?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that he's that good though. Like I
didn't say that.
Is he not more of what they have in the bottom 6, which is takes up space and can't score? Like
he's the guy that they'll give a shot to.
But he's apparently looking for big money because he gave up $5 million or whatever's left. And so apparently he's not coming into town for a max deal or something.
What he wants more than even like a big payday is the next year's contract. So he wants a 2-year deal. This year prorated plus next year. And apparently there's a bunch of teams offering him that.
Really?
Yeah. So they're going to sign him for the rest of this year and then next year. Because for him to give up $5 million is crazy, but it's because there's on the table a contract for next year.
He has 16 points in 43 games, guys.
Doing it in the playoffs is so important. You can ride that for so frigging long. When was his last? Like, I know he's got the 2.
Last time he was in the playoffs was 21-22 with the Blues. He had 5 points in 12 games.
What are we doing?
Well, I don't think the Leafs are. I know that the Leafs are rumored to be in, but I don't think they're the front runner. And I just don't see how, unless you're moving bodies out, like where does he fit?
Well, I think you probably waive guys. Because, like, listen, do you want to give up draft capital? Not really. Do you want to give up your prospects? Not really. All right, well, if a guy becomes available to sign as a free agent who's been playing in the NHL all year, it actually makes a lot of sense.
But giving up cap this time of year can be devastating to... Well, he's not going to get you. He's a winger.
I don't sign him to an amount that's not variable.
Well, but that's
he just went through that.
Yeah, he just said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not doing that, then I think that's unreasonable and you're out.
Well, yeah, and that's why I don't think the Leafs are going to get him. They have $2 million in cap space. They're projected because of the LTIR. They will have $2 million by the deadline. I don't know, man.
Everyone seems to have itchy thumbs right now, and they're all making trades or rumored to be. I'm not going to yell it. Brad, where you at, man? Bradley, where are you at? Like, okay, well, they're in first place. God, we used the shit out of that, didn't we? Well, they're not anymore, are they? They're second place, and the Sens are 4 points behind them. Dun. Work.
Well, actually,
those phones,
sorry, that
man.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. Oh, okay.
I was told that that's...
That's good. Well, thank you. I'm new to the sport, so it's always good to have it talked at me. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we doing here?
The other thing I want to mention is that Calle Yarncroke, and people laughed at me for this, and I don't give a shit. Calle Yarncroke scored 2 years ago 20 goals.
Calle Yarncroke is exactly the kind of player they could use right now.
Yarncroke would be great.
He'd be great, yeah. And I don't know how. Like they expect him back before the playoffs. That is for sure.
That's surprising to me.
So
it's good news.
It's great news. So this guy who had, he had, 10 goals, 11 assists in 54 games last year. That is exactly the type of thing that you need in the bottom six right now.
Such a consistent goal scorer. Go look at his career. Every year, like it's not a high pocket, but there's this pocket that he finds every damn year.
Yep.
He's going to be somewhere between 13 and 20 goals.
Perfect. Great. That's what
13 goals makes him a sniper on this team. In the bottom six, holy crap.
I'm also
easy there, Maurice.
I'm also looking at it's been funny. People like on the stream are like, well, what if the Leafs? There's the we mentioned it I think in the last show, the Kyprios, Morgan Riley for JT Miller. First off, JT Miller wants to go to the Eastern United States, although Toronto's close to the Eastern United States. Second, Northeastern United States, apparently where he wants to be. Second, people are like, why? Kipper was like, well, why not Morgan Riley? No movement clause, just had a baby. Wife's entire business is based out of Toronto. I don't think so.
Sidebar, you know what's going to be highly entertaining?
What?
When JT Miller and Elias Pettersson are both traded to rival teams in the East.
And they got to play each other?
Hell yeah.
I like that. I'm into that. I'm into that.
Go.
JT Miller to the Rangers. Carolina gets Pettersson or something like that.
JT Miller also has a 15-team no trade.
Yeah.
So I believe all the Canadian teams are probably on that.
Oh, that's exactly what I mean. He's
they
not
might be on it twice.
Morgan also has one. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
Morgan's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop, everyone.
Yep. And then so beyond that, people are like, well, why don't you just... Whoa, it could be Morgan Riley, Nick Robertson. Guys,
stop.
What do you think Nick Robertson's trade value is?
What are we doing? Knock it off. Knock it off. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just got people
there you go.
Chomping at the bit for Nick Robertson. No disrespect to Nick Robertson, but he's had a down year. He needed to have a great year. He's been trying. He's been pretty good at times. It's been really dry at times.
I don't think Riley in a first-round pick gets it done.
Of course not.
They're big game hunting here.
Yeah, they want a player back.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Leafs have that. I think
he's also not a center.
Yeah, that's also a problem. Pettersson is. But long story short with the Leafs, it does seem like there needs to be some sort of trade. Again, if you look at the Jonas and Jonas Siegel and Chris Johnston list, every single player on that list, I'm like, okay. Oh, that's expensive. Oh, that's expensive. Oh, that's really expensive. And so I'm hoping that...
Yeah, but you're trying to win? Who cares what the prices are?
Well, apparently the Leafs do. They don't want to give up another first. So which is it, man?
Yeah. That's what I'm
which
saying.
Is it?
It's like, okay, so you don't want to win. You're going to go into the playoffs with a team that's not as good. Cool.
Do you see the problem with this being built into your every season? Mm-hmm. Every season, you go in with a top-heavy, flawed team, which means you need to spend. And every year we go, oh, we don't want to spend. And then they either don't and lose, or they do and lose.
At least you tried.
But at least you tried.